Look at this page, page 63. So today you will learn how to solve problem involving maximum and minimum value and interpreting the solution. So this part is the application for turning point. Under turning point, they will give you the problem like this. Okay, this in our real life, okay, you will notice that a lot of container for the food and beverage in the market are in cylindrical shape like this, right? Have you noticed that? So how they want to determine the size for the tin so that the cost for the production is minimum. So you will learn in this part why everything you see a lot of tin drinking beverage all is in cylinder shape. Why don't they want to make it in like cone shape or in the other shape? They have their own reason because of they want to minimize the cost. Okay, how to minimize the cost? Minimize the cost, meaning that use the minimum material to build, right? So if you want to use minimum material to build the things, then we'll consider surface area that we need, total surface area for the material that we need. So look at this example, example 18. Okay, a factory want to produce cylindrical tin from aluminium sheet to contain food, to put the food like this. So each tin has the volume. So volume they already set 512 cm cube. So the curved surface is made by rolling a rectangular piece of aluminium while the top and bottom are circular piece cut out from two aluminium square. So find the radius of the tin in cm such that the total surface area of the aluminium sheet will be minimum. If you use minimum volume, not volume, minimum area of aluminium sheet, meaning that the cost will be minimum, right? So this is the idea. So at first, you need to understand the problem, what information you have. So just now, they say this aluminium tin must have rectangular sheet of aluminium like this, and then with two circle, okay? So we consider this one is height. And then for volume, this part is the circumference of the circle, right? So circumference formula is 2 pi r. And then for the circle, we have radius r. So the length for this will be 2r. So let the r become the radius of the base, h become the height of the tin. So we can make conclusion for the volume. So volume for cylinder is pi r square h. So equals to 512. You can get first information here. And then about total surface area of the aluminium used, it will be like this, right here. So this one, no, we consider this one first. So why they have two r square? Two meaning that you have two circle. And then why you have two r square? Why? Anyone can answer? Because of 2r times 2r, okay? 2r times 2r. So because although this one is circle, but because of the circle, the question got mentioned cut up from square. So that's why you need to use the square area. So you have 2r times 2r, so 2r square, okay? If the question didn't mention the circle come from the square, then you need to use area of circle. Clear? So because of this one, they got say that two circle come from square. So you need to use area of square. So we form the formula first for total surface area. So A equal to 2, this one is area for square, plus area for this rectangle is 2 pi r times h. So 2 pi r h. Simplify, you will get total surface area is in this formula. So the question says, find the value of R such that A is minimum. Remember, every time you solve for maximum minimum problem in differentiation, at first you need to see what they want you to make it maximum or minimum. If the question says total surface area minimum, then you need to form the equation for total surface area. If the question is talk about volume maximum, then you need to form the equation for volume. Clear? So now is about total surface area. And then previously recall back what you learned dy dx. Only two unknown, right? So sometimes the equation that you form might have more than two unknown. What happens if you have more than two unknown? You need to substitute one of the unknown. So let's say I have A, because I want to make A minimum, so I must have A here. And then value of R, make A minimum, I also must have R here. So meaning that later on you need to do dA, dr. So the H you need to try to substitute. So you will find from here H. Okay, you find H from here. So you will have H equals to 512 divide pi R square. So substitute in. So we see the question here. So this one is the solution. Find in terms of H, H in terms of R. So substitute inside the equation just now. So simplify, you're getting this equation as the formula for total surface area that you need. Okay, so just now we say total surface area minimum, right? So when you see minimum or maximum, you need to think about turning point. When you think about turning point, you will need to do first derivative equals to 0. So in this case is AR, so dA dr equals 0. So you need to find dA dr first. So how to find dA dr? This one need to rewrite first, right, before you do differentiation. So have add r square. This one become plus 1024 r power negative 1. So already is number x power something. So you can try to differentiate now. So at time 2, you have 16. R copy down. Power minus 1 become power 1. And then this one minus 1 times 1024. You have minus 1024. R power minus 1 become power negative 2. So power negative. So bring down. So you get dA dr as this one. So to obtain minimum value, this one must be equals to 0, like this. So next step, you just do like usual. So over r square, so multiply r square for each of the term. So I have 16 r cubed. This one r square cancel out. So remaining like this. How to find the r? So this one need to bring to right hand side and then divide by 16. Get this, and then finally you get r cubed is 64. Key in calculator, getting r is 4. So when you get r is 4, meaning that how you make sure your a is minimum. So you need to do second derivative. This one is the first derivative that you get just now, right? Just now question asks you find r value that make a minimum. So you already found this r value. You need to prove that this one can make minimum. So how you prove? You try to find second derivative. So just now already find first derivative, right? So differentiate 16r, getting 16. Differentiate this. So this number times this number, getting 2048. R copy down. Power minus 1 become minus 3. So bring it down like this. So this value is your, not value, this one is your second derivative. So substitute R in equals to 4 inside this one. Then you found that is 48. So when second derivative is positive, manifest, right? Meaning that your A is minimum. So you can make conclusion R equals to 4 will make the A minimum. Can understand until now? Everybody can understand? Can follow what I say? Can? Can give me some response? So far okay or not? No response. Means that
Yes.
you understand, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, then I continue. This is how we solve, huh? And then this part just for you to check and reflect and interpret. Okay, actually no need, but for just for your information. So how we compare, how we verify our answer, is that correct? So you can try to sketch the graph, sketch this graph. Of course, if you use your your paper and graph paper, very difficult for you to sketch this one. So you can try to go online. You can go to Desmos, this one, Desmos, or you can go to GeoGebra, up to you. This one is additional knowledge for you. So when you enter this Desmos, you can copy and paste, type in this equation. You know how to type in this equation? You type like this, y equal add x power 2, you can press this button. If this one is not out, you can press this button, it come out, and then you can press this power 2 plus. How to press 1024 divide x? So you can press 1024 like this over x. Use the slash, then they will come out. Then you enter, you will find that the graph already come out, and then you see, why the graph like this? But inside the books, it show the graph like this. Okay, so why is it like that? You will notice that here is 4, right? Here is 100 something. So you need to adjust a bit for the graph. So how I adjust? I make it become bigger, and then I try to drag. Look at positive part. You try to drag it, make it bigger, and then you can try to make it bigger so that you can see the shape later on. Okay, need to adjust a bit. Need to see above. Wait, adjust. Yeah, just now I don't know what press what thing. Wait. I copy again. Try again. Press. I need to open another new one. Okay, never mind. Later I'll show you again. So at the end, after you adjust, you will get something like this. Okay, more or less like the one in the book. Okay, that I will show you. So more or less like the book like this. So from this graph, you can see that at positive part, we not look at the negative part because radius always positive. So look at this positive part. For this curve, the lowest value is at this point. So this point is 4. This is the y, the x axis here. X value is 4, and then minimum value is 300 something. Okay, for the a value is 300 something. So you can use this graph to check your answer. Substitute x equals to 4, r equals to 4, you will get a is 3 at 4, meaning that when r equals to 4, the minimum value of a is 3 at 4. Is that clear? So at this part, solving the problem, they will always ask you like this, give you situation like this, and then they will give, maybe will give you one fixed value, sometimes not give, so it depends on the question. So what you need to do is, you need to build equation. If they say volume minimum, then you build equation for volume. If they say area minimum, then you build a formula for area, and then make sure the formula that you build only have 2 unknown. If you have more than 2 unknown like this question, then you will need to sub one of the unknown in. Like this one, because they got to say, find the radius for the surface area minimum. So meaning that you need the R, you need the A. So you don't need H, then you need to find H equals to what? Substitute in to make the H disappear. Okay. If the question didn't mention what they want, then you just substitute one of the unknown. Depends on the question. So this part, your homework, 2.11, question number, you try number 2. Okay, you try number 2 later on. 2.11, number 2. And then I need to proceed because I scared not enough time later on. So next application is interpreting and determine rate of change. So until now, we have learned 2 applications. First application is equation of tangent, equation of normal. Second application is turning point, which involving maximum and minimum problem. So this is the third one. Third one is talk about rate of change. Okay. Similarly, only involving two unknown. If have more than two unknown, then you need to substitute it. So rate of change, I think you ever learned in physics. Rate meaning that d over time, d over dt. We call it rate of change. So rate of change of what? Depends on what you want. Rate of change of Eddie Love towards Elvin. So what is the answer? Eddie, your love increase or decrease? Oi, Eddie, your love towards Elvin increase or decrease? Decrease. If decrease, you will have a negative value. Negative something. If increase, you will have positive. Okay, I give you an example. Now I have a corn. Inside this corn, I have put water. Okay, I have put water inside. And then I cut here. I cut here. When I cut here, water will come out, right? When water come out, then your dV dt, rate of change for volume inside the corn will be negative. Remember, because water come out. When water come out, volume decrease towards time. So we have negative. So first idea that you need to know about rate of change is if decrease, then rate will be negative. If increase, rate will be positive. So remember this thing. So if you see the word melt, see the word leaking, meaning that the rate will be negative. So rate is d over dt, always fixed. The only thing changing is this thing. So talk about rate of change, you need to know, you need to use change rule to do it. How we build chain rule? Example, if question asking you, find rate of change for y. So you will have dy dt. Find rate of change for x. You will have dx dt. Depends on what you want. Let's say if you want dy dt, how you build chain rule? Okay, this red color always the same. Always the same. And then the only thing change is like this. How you build it? dy, you write it here, dy. dt, write it here, dt. So the remaining is d what? Depends on the question. So they will give you the other variable. If dx, then both is dx. So let's look at the example here. Consider the curve. Okay, they give you one curve in this equation. If x increase at constant rate, so how you write this? X increase at constant rate. So rate I know is d over dt. Then they talk about x, right? Meaning that this is x equal. Increase, so positive. So 2. And this one is the value for dx dt. If they say decrease, meaning that negative 2. So you know dx dt equals to 2. Then the question asks you, how to find rate of change of y? Meaning that you need to find dy dt. So write down dy dt, make chain rule like this. So dy, copy here, dt, copy here. Then both at here will be dx, because given is dx, so dx. So dy dx, find from here. So y equal to x squared plus 1. So yx, dy dx. So you can substitute 2x, differentiate this, getting 1, meaning that dy dx is 2x, and then multiply dx dt is 2. Then dy dt answer is 4x. And then every time they will ask you, find the rate of change of y when x equals to 2. Then you just substitute x equals to 2, put inside, then you get the answer like this. Or they say, find dy dt when x equals negative 2. Then you substitute negative 2 in, then this is the answer. So this is rate of change. So look at example 19. So a curve have this equation. If I'm too fast, you let me know. So y equal to x squared plus 4x power negative 1. Because you need to do differentiation. So this one need to modify first before you do differentiation. So first one, find expression for dy dx. Then you can find dy dx like this. So dy dx is 2 times 1, you have 2. X copy, power minus 1 become power 1. 4 multiply negative 1, so we have negative 4, x copy, power minus 1 become minus 2, meaning that your dy dx is this. And then the question says, find the rate of change of y. So I know I need to find y rate of change, then I need to find dy dt. So I'll build chain rule from here. So how I build chain rule? So do like just now. This one dy, copy here, dt, copy here. So the remaining is what? They say when x equals to 1, x equals to 2, given that x, okay, meaning that the other is dx, depends on the question. Okay, then dy dx, already have it here, right? So when x equals to 1, you just substitute x equals to 1, then you get dy dx equals to negative 2. So you can put it here, negative 2, multiply dx dt, x increase at rate 3. So dx dt is positive 3. So multiply 3, getting minus 6, meaning that y is decreasing. Okay, y is decreasing. Okay, understand? Behind here also the same, just substitute different value. Can understand? Okay, I want to remind you, sometime you might need dx dy. Sometime, example, I change the question a bit, asking you find dx dt given y increase or decrease. So how you form? You will form dx, you will form dt here, right? So here you put dy, right? dy. So in case if you need dx dy, how you find dx dy? Example, I use back the same question. How you find dx dy? You can do like this. Example, I getting my dy dx equals to negative 2, meaning that my dx dy will be, this one is over 1, right? Meaning that negative 1 over 2. You boleh terbalikkan macam ini, ya. You can get the answer like this if you need dx dy. Is that clear? So far, any question you want to ask? Your exercise for 2.12 will be question, I choose a question. 1C, 1B. Question 2, you can do question E and also D. And then you do question 3. Okay? So far, any question you want to ask? Any question you want to ask?